There are wounds no one sees. There are screams no one hears. And there are moments that divide life into before and after dot. She survived that night, but survival was not the same as living. Something had been taken from her. Not just safety, not just trust, but the sense that her body belonged to her. People told her she was strong. They told her she would heal. They told her time would fix it. But no one told her what to do with the silence. No one told her how to breathe when memory returned. No one told her how to face God when she felt broken beyond repair. What she did not yet know was this: God had not looked away. God had not abandoned her. And God was not finished restoring what violence tried to destroy. The night that changed everything, she did not remember every detail. Trauma has a way of blurring time, sound, and sequence. But she remembered enough. She remembered fear arriving faster than thought. She remembered her body freezing when she wanted to scream. She remembered the moment she realized control had been taken from her hands. Nothing in her life had prepared her for the helplessness of that moment. And afterward, when it was over, the world continued as if nothing had happened. That was almost worse. Survival is not the end of trauma. People often assume trauma ends when danger ends. It does not. For her, trauma followed her home. It sat beside her in silence. It lay awake with her at night. Her body survived, but her sense of safety did not. Loud sounds startled her. Dark rooms tightened her chest. Even familiar faces felt unpredictable. Her body remembered what her mind tried to forget. The shame that did not belong to her. One of the cruelest effects of sexual violence is misplaced shame. She did nothing wrong, and yet, shame found her anyway. It whispered, "You should have fought harder. You should have known. You should have prevented it." Shame is not logical. It is invasive, and it settled into her heart uninvited. When the body feels like an enemy afterward, she struggled to recognize herself. Her body no longer felt like a home. It felt like a crime scene she could not escape. She felt disconnected from touch, from sensation, from herself. Even kindness felt confusing. Even affection felt unsafe. The thing that had been violated now felt foreign. Silence as a survival strategy she did not tell many people. Not because she was weak, but because speaking felt dangerous. Words felt inadequate. Explanations felt exhausting. And she feared what might happen if the truth was spoken aloud. So she learned to survive quietly. The question she didn't want to ask God, she believed in God. That belief did not disappear, but it changed, she wondered. Where were you? Why didn't you stop it? Did you see me? She felt guilty for asking. But grief always asks questions. God's silence was not absence. God did not answer immediately, not with explanations, not with reasons, but slowly, gently, she began to sense something unexpected. God was not offended by her anger. God was not threatened by her questions. God was present in her pain, not explaining it, but holding her through it. The difference between healing and forgetting, she did not want to forget. Forgetting felt like erasing what happened, like pretending. The harm did not matter. God did not ask her to forget. Healing was not erasure. Healing was learning to breathe again without fear. God did not blame her. This mattered more than she realized. In the quiet spaces of prayer, when words failed, she sensed no accusation, no disappointment, no judgment, only grief for what she endured, only compassion for what was taken. God did not stand with the violence. God stood with her. Learning that her body still belonged to her, restoration did not come quickly, but gradually. She began to feel present again. She learned to reclaim small moments, a deep breath, sunlight on her skin, the safety of stillness. Her body was not ruined. It was wounded, and wounds can heal. God restores what trauma tries to steal. Safated dignitress, whereas God restores differently. Not all at once, not dramatically, but faithfully, piece by piece. Her worth was never taken. What happened to her did not define her value. Her dignity was not destroyed. Her purity was not lost. Her identity was not erased. Violence touched her body, but not her worth. God knew this. And slowly, she began to believe it too. When the nightmares returned, healing was not linear. Some nights were harder than others, but now, she was no longer alone with the memories. She learned to name her fear instead of drowning in it. She learned to ask for help instead of hiding. God did not rush her healing. He honored her pace. The courage to trust again. Trust returned slowly, first toward herself, then towards safe people, eventually toward life itself. God did not demand trust. He earned it through presence. Anger had a place till she learned that anger was not sin. It was a response to injustice. God did not silence her anger. He absorbed it. Justice mattered to him. Her pain mattered to him. Restoration did not mean the past disappeared there. Memory did not vanish, but it no longer controlled her. It became something she carried without being crushed by it. Her story did not end in violence. It continued beyond it. A strength she never asked for. She did not choose this journey, but she emerged with a depth she never sought. Her compassion deepened. Her empathy widened. She saw others more clearly now, not as broken, but as human. God did not waste her pain. God never approved the harm, but he refused to abandon her to it. What was stolen did not have the final word. Her body was still hers. Her future was still open. Her soul was still intact. She was more than what happened to her. She was not the victim. She was a survivor, a woman, a person still becoming. And God walked with her not as a lesson, but as a companion. Restoration was quiet, but real restoration did not arrive loudly. It arrived as peace returning to her breath, as safety returning to her body, as hope returning to her mornings. God held her without demanding strength. God did not tell her to be strong. He held her while she was weak. That was the miracle. What was stolen did not define the end. Tried to end her story. It failed because love remained, presence remained, God remained. She lives not unmarked, but unbroken. She carries scars, but scars are proof of survival. They are not signs of defeat. God restored what was stolen not by erasing the past, but by redeeming her future. She is still here, still whole, still worthy, and she is not alone.